Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com, where I love sharing tips all about my favorite app, Forscore. Every Friday here on YouTube, on Instagram, and TikTok, I post a short video sharing a different trick, tip, or little hidden feature within Forscore. I started doing this summer, basically right when summer started, and now that it is officially fall, I thought I would create just a compilation of all of these tips that I have shared. So if you've missed any and you want to catch up, or if you just want some quick fire tips to make Fourscore work better for you, keep watching this video to see all of the short reels, TikToks, Instagram videos that I have put out. So, have you ever accidentally gotten rid of one of your favorite annotation tools, maybe like the eraser? Don't freak out, okay? You're gonna leave annotation mode and find your settings all the way down here. Then all the way down to annotation tools, and then check whatever you would like to have in the actual tab, and it will pop right back up for you. Hope this helps. So have you ever downloaded a score off of maybe IMSLP, or even just taken a scan where there's a lot of white space and you feel like you just can't read things properly? You can crop your sheet music within the app. So you're going to go over to your settings and then find crop. And here it can auto crop for you, but if you don't want some of the information at the bottom, you can always customize the crop to your liking. Then to change pages, you'll press this arrow at the top. Again, it auto crops for you. I don't need the page number or that little thing at the bottom, so let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. I think that should be about good. Press that again to go to a new page. Let's say that this is like really crooked. You can use this slider at the bottom to change the tilt. So now to just go over some of the other features available here. These 4 boxes give you some different options for all of the pages of the score. This, I believe, just kind of crops in, where it just kind of decides what might work. This little crop kind of rotate thing hides or shows the little tilt adjuster. And then these 2 rectangles either show or hide where it would be split in landscape versus portrait. Once you're done, you can press crop, and then all of the pages fill up the iPad screen beautifully, and it's so much easier to read this music. Hope that helps you. Are you struggling to add different pieces of sheet music to your set list? Someone over on my YouTube said that they are having problems getting all of the music that they want to onto their set list. Only about half of it actually stays there. So I'm gonna kind of troubleshoot a few different things that might be happening so that you're adding your music to set lists correctly. So maybe you want to add music to your set list with the plus button, like you've already made the set list. So let's add something. How about Bad Blood? This is actually a violin arrangement that I made. So when you've added your music, you will press this X in the top right, and here it is in the set list. Another thing that might be happening is adding bookmarks to your set list. So bookmarks are really cool. Maybe you have a book full of different pieces and you're only playing one piece in the set list. This is actually what I did with Humoresque. So this is just a bookmark from the full book of Suzuki accompaniments. So you need to make sure that the original file that the bookmark is taken from is still imported into Forscore. If that original file is missing, it will not have access to the actual sheet music that you've bookmarked. If neither of these things have fixed your problem, maybe just delete the set list and start over. So I'll do that with you. Here are my set lists. We'll tap the plus button to make a new one. We'll call this F for Forscore Friday. Just keep things simple. And then you can go to the plus button to add your songs. And let's just choose a couple of these. We will press the X in the top right. And I believe that's everything that I checked. So I hope these tips helped. If you are the person who commented and you're still having trouble, please give me more details about this and hopefully I can help you figure it out. I hope this video was helpful for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about organizing your scores within Forscore. So there are a couple different ways that you can take a look at your scores. So when you first open the app, especially if you haven't changed any settings, you'll see all of your different libraries. So a library is one way to keep track of just specific music. So maybe you have just a chamber music library or just a teaching library, so that your chamber music is only in one place and your teaching music is only in another. I personally just sort by all libraries and I sort everything in alphabetical order because I tend to remember what I name my scores, and that is just kind of the easiest thing for me. So we could go to viola solo and see the scores that I have here in this library. These are all things that I've learned for viola just by myself. No matter what library you go to, you can see the composers of your scores. Now you do have to input this information. So let's go to a score that does not have a composer set. We'll have to go up to this title, click on the 3 dots and the I. Here we'll be able to add the name of the composer. Then you can just exit out of that. And here you can see her name is up there. Another way to get to this is just to tap on the title. So now I can go to my composers. I'll find her name in the list. And you can see the 2 scores that I have in my library by Florence Price. Another way you can stay organized is through bookmarks. So if you tap the little book icon in the top left, it will show you the bookmarks in just this particular score. Not all of your bookmarks ever, just this one. So you can click on this and it'll take you right to that song. So if you've got a big book of maybe like musical theater songs or jazz standards, you can make bookmarks within that huge score and then use this to easily navigate to each one. The next way you can organize is through setlists. Setlists are really, really great if you'd like to learn more about them. I do have another short video and a full YouTube video on setlists. By adding more metadata to your scores, which was when we tapped on the title and we could add the composer, you will be able to sort by different things. So you can sort by genre, you can sort by tags, and you can sort by labels. Those are all different ways that you can really organize your music. I hope this helps you keep your music in order. If you have any Forscore questions, please let me know down below and I would be happy to showcase it next Friday. Thanks for watching. So let's say that you want to play a piece of music that has a lot of different repeats, maybe a bunch of codas. So this is, for me, usually pop music, where this has a repeat that you take 3 times. And, you know, it's going to be so annoying to turn all the way back to the beginning, even with a foot pedal. You may or may not get it right, and that's not how I like to perform. That's a little too scary for me. So what you can do is add buttons to your music. You'll find these at the briefcase in the top right, and they're right here, buttons. You can add these to your music and they will do whatever action that you would like. So we will choose navigation, and you can make it look sort of any kind of way. Let's do that right there. And that button is going to take us to this current score, page 1. That was where the repeat sign was. So let's save this and we'll test if it works. It took us right back to the repeat. You can see there was just a little bit of lag time. So you will have to know when you press it that you have to press it just like half a second early or a beat early, and then it'll get you there in time. Hope this is helpful for those big scores with multiple repeats. Today we're going to build off of last week's Forscore Friday, where I shared how you can add buttons to your music to create extra page turns that get back to a certain spot in the music, or really you can configure those buttons to do anything. But will these buttons work with a Bluetooth pedal? This is my favorite Bluetooth pedal, the Donner Page Turner. So we're going to go forward in the music. Here's the button. It doesn't do anything. So unfortunately, it is a little difficult to pair these buttons with just any Bluetooth pedal. But if you go into the settings, all the way down here at the bottom, we go to devices, then it can show you all of the devices that you have. Now, from what I've seen, this only works with AirTurn brand Bluetooth pedals. So if you go there, you can turn on AirTurn support, and then you can configure different buttons to work in different ways, basically as keyboard shortcuts. So that is the way that you can get buttons to work with a pedal. You really just need an AirTurn pedal. But if you don't have an AirTurn pedal like me, I have a couple pedals, but I do not have that specific one. Instead of adding buttons, what I will usually do to go back in the music is add extra pages. So we go to rearrange, and then whatever page you need to go back to, I just duplicate it by pressing the plus button, and then I drag it to after the repeat. We also need the second page that will play through again, and the third page, and then the fourth page again. Now, since this has 2 rounds of repeats, we're gonna add that one more time. Now we're finished, so we will just save this. You can either save or save as, depending on how you want the score to be saved. Now, let's pretend we're playing through this song. We play the beginning, the first page, we go to the second page, we go to the third page, and we go to the fourth page where there's a repeat. Now we're gonna go back by going forward. Now it takes us to the first page again. We play through that, we play through the second page, we play through the third page, and we get to the fourth page, which will repeat again. So we go forward and it takes us back to the first page again. Then second page, third page, fourth page. Now we can finally take the second ending, and it's the end, and that is the last page in our score. I know that's a little bit of a lengthy workaround for this, but in my experience, it's pretty reliable because I am fine with pressing the pedal forward quite a few times. So I hope that helps you, and enjoy your weekend. Did you know that in Forscore's iPhone app, you can use a function called reflow, which shows you one line of music and it just scrolls? So I have a full YouTube video on this feature coming up on Sunday on my channel, so be sure to check that out in a couple of days. But for now, you can get to reflow through the little settings wheel right by the title of your score. Then you want to choose this arrow. This puts you into reflow mode. So you want to make sure that this says scroll, tap the screen, and it will start scrolling. Now I'll get more in depth into how to edit what the lines are. I really wish that Forscore included a little tutorial on how this all works the first time that you use it in the app, because I did have to do quite a bit of Googling to understand how this feature really works, but that's why I'm here for you guys. So if you want to make the speed a little bit faster, tap on the right side of the screen. If you want to make it a lot faster, you tap repeatedly. If you want to slow it down, tap on the left, or really slow it down, tap repeatedly. So this is a cool feature if you don't have a large tablet and if you're on the go and you just need something, this might be able to do the trick. So be sure to check out my video on Sunday for my full first impressions and to get a more in-depth sense of how this feature actually works. A few weeks ago, I shared the reflow feature in the iPhone version of Forscore, but did you know that that's also a feature in the iPad app? So to enable this, we have to go to settings, which will be in the briefcase in the toolbar. We go to settings at the very bottom, and we're going to scroll down to accessibility. Then you will see under interface reflow, we'll slide that on. Then when you go to the top bar, the settings wheel right next to your score, you will see this arrow option. Now we select that and it puts you into reflow mode. So you want to be sure that it says scroll up here, and then when you tap, it will start scrolling your music. If you want to go faster, tap on the right. The more taps you do, the faster it goes. If you want to slow it down, tap on the left. And if you want it really slow, you tap a lot of times. And now it's moving very slowly. So I hope that little tip is helpful for you, and enjoy your weekend. Today, let's talk about half-page turns. This is where you will turn the page, and up in the top half, you'll see just the top half of the next page. So let's say you've got a couple measures of rest. Let's say you want to turn the page here because there's so much going on. You could tap your pedal and you'll see the top of the next page, so that will be there and waiting for you. So you will find half-page turns up in the settings wheel next to the title of your score, and it will be these two kind of rectangles right here. So we'll tap that, and that enables half-page turns. So now when you tap on this page, instead of turning it fully, you will see just the top half of the next page. When you tap again, it will fully turn the rest of the way. Tap top of the next page, full page. top of the next page, now the full page. This works really nicely with Bluetooth pedals. So this is my favorite, the Donner Bluetooth pedal. And when you tap to the right to go forward, it does the half page turn, then it fills in the rest of the way. Now, if you put your iPad in landscape mode, and I'm sorry it doesn't show the full thing, but here's what it looks like. It will look like a booklet now. There's no way to do the same sort of thing with a landscape iPad. So that's a quick little tutorial on how you can enable half page turns in Forscore. Hope it's helpful, and I will see you again next week for Forscore Friday. Be sure to follow along if you'd like to see more content like this. Today I'm going to share how you can add blank sheet music into Forscore so that you can use the app as a notebook or as a whiteboard while you're teaching. So we're going to go up into the top right corner to the briefcase, go down to templates, and there will be a bunch already made for you. So this is one that I accidentally made. They also have a blank page, staff paper, more staff paper, this one has extra lines to it, and then grand staffs and even piano and a trio setup. So you can add one of these and just with the plus button add it in. You can either add it to your current score or any other score that you would like. Hope that helps. Today, I'm going to show you what Forscore is like in airplane mode without any internet or data service. So when you're performing or you're at a rehearsal, you don't want pesky notifications to come up on your screen or for a call to come through, or especially a FaceTime where, it takes up the whole screen. You just see someone's face and then you wouldn't be able to see your music anymore. So putting your iPad in airplane mode to perform is usually a good idea so that you don't get any notifications or distractions, because even if you put your iPad in Do Not Disturb, notifications will still come through even though they're silenced. So to put your iPad in airplane mode, you want to get to the control center and you'll press the little airplane icon. All right, so when I do that, my Bluetooth stays on, and that is going to be important if you're using a Bluetooth foot pedal like I am. So make sure that Bluetooth is still on, then you can go back to Forscore and my score is totally fine. I can still use my Apple Pencil and it's like nothing changed at all. The only thing that you won't be able to do is import music from a cloud service or from an email or something. So my pedal still works totally fine. Everything is normal. So that's just a handy little performance hack. Put your iPad in airplane mode, but with Bluetooth still on so that you can perform without any distractions. I hope that helped. And if you have any Forscore questions, please leave them down below and I will make a video on it soon. Today I'm going to show you a really helpful feature if you need to switch between music quickly or just often for rehearsals or for teaching. Sometimes you just need to go back and forth between the same couple of pieces many times. So today we're going to use tabs. So you can see your tabs as part of the top bar, but if you don't see any tabs, that's okay because we can go enable it. So we're going to go to the briefcase and then tap on settings. Then we're going to find controls under appearance. Now we are going to slide on always show tab bar. That is the feature that actually shows these tabs up in the top, even if you only have one thing open. So you can see I have one piece open and another, and then there's a tab that just says new tab. For some reason, if you press on new tab, it opens another tab of what you were just looking at. But either way, once you open a new tab, you just look at your music and then choose whatever you want to open, and it opened in that tab. Alternatively, and especially if you don't have the tab bars enabled to show all the time, you can just choose a piece, kind of click and drag, and it'll open in a new tab as well. So now I can cycle through all 4 of those different scores, and it's super, super easy and convenient. I hope that helps. If you have any Forscore questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will make a video for it next Friday. With the release of iOS 26, Forscore has made its biggest update ever. So their version 15 uses Apple's new liquid glass display, which you can choose to use or not. Personally, I'm really liking it so far. But one of the coolest little features that they've added in this new update is being able to preview your scores as you're scrolling through the menu to find the one that you want. So we're gonna go over to the scores, and here's the typical list. I like to have all of my scores in order because I always know what I name them and it's the easiest way for me to find them. But now if you go up to these 3 dots and choose grid view, you'll get to see a preview of every single score in your library as you scroll. So if you're a really visual person and you know exactly what your score looks like, but maybe not what you named it, this could be a great option for you. I think it's super cool. It does take a lot more space, so it's gonna take a lot more scrolling to get to the end of your library, but I think this is a really cool feature. Let me know if you're going to use the grid view down below. And if you have any Fourscore questions, especially questions about this new update, please let me know in the comments and I will definitely answer your question and maybe even make my next Fourscore Friday about it.